Hi, I'm Simon Canish and welcome to another marvellous video. In the Transformers universe, there's a plethora of female characters with immense power and skill. Since the live-action movies are still left to introduce most of them, a majority of the fans are yet to ideate to what extent these female Transformers can go. There are female Cybertronians capable of taking down powerful forces, as well as the ones claiming to be the sole creator of the Transformers. While some are amicably and friendly, many are ruthless and deadly. So in today's video, we will be exploring our list of the top 15 female Transformers. Please note that there are various versions of these characters, and we will be considering the ones which provide the best origin story. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, then please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. Windblade. Windblade was first introduced in Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, issue 26, as part of the 2005 IDW continuity. She was not unique and had served essential roles in some badass variations. She belonged to the planet Caminus, where the inhabitants maintained gender deformitism. Long ago, a Titan had colonized Caminus, with whom Windblade was born from the hotspot. Like most of the bots on the planet, Windblade considered the legendary 13 Primes as the most remarkable Transformers of all time, and considered Solus Prime as their god. Eventually, she trained herself to become a city speaker, a variant of the Transformers which possessed the ability to communicate and control the Titans. Being in Caminus for so long made Windblade lose her connection to Cybertron, for which, after the arrival of Thunderclash, she planned to make a visit to her home world. She was joined by her bodyguard Chromia and Nautica, the quantum engineer. The crew began their journey hoping to reconnect with Cybertron and gain aid for their planet Caminus. After travelling for days, the crew came across Alpha Trion, who informed them about his long-standing partner, Titus Metroplex, being seriously wounded and hiding in the ocean world of Hydraphane. Without further delay, Windblade and her friends boarded a fast spacecraft and reached Hydraphania. Upon reaching the planet, they found a wounded Metroplex, whose body was ravaged by an alchemical virus, and repaired him. Sometime later, Metroplex summoned a team of Autobots traveling in the Lost Light spaceship through some complex means. They used the ship's energy to jumpstart Metroplex's spark so that he could create the space bridge and travel back to Cybertron. Metroplex then was urgently needed by the Transformers on Cybertron to fight against the Necrotitan. Even Megatron gave back Metroplex's severed thumb. Megatron laid the thumb with Ore 7, which would rejuvenate him before his fight with the Necrotitan. Later, during the inauguration of the Council of Worlds, Caminus was added to the Republic of Cybertron, with Windblade as the official Camden delegate.
All this time, one of you finally changed for the better.
Being a representative of the Caminus, Windblade led on several intercultural issues, including the dispute between some Camden immigrants and the Decepticons, who had been siphoning energy from Metroplex's structure. Windblade was later summoned to combat a horde of dead Titans, led by Infinitus. During the battle, Vigilum, the ancient ultra-powerful Titan, downloaded his mind into Windblade's. The two minds conflicted as Vigilum goaded her to combine her spark with his, but she resisted. She was, however, saved by Starscream's reckless attempt, which resulted in Vigilum taking over Starscream's body. Windblade made several other appearances in different comics, where she was either portrayed as a delegate of Caminus or as part of the Autobots. There are not so many members in the team of Autobots who can fly, which makes Windblade one of the rare ones. Even without standard equipment, Windblade can locate her targets owing to her highly advanced tracking systems. Windblade uses her wing turbines to deliver concussive blasts along with a handle that provides a powerful energy blade. She was a city speaker and hence possessed telepathic abilities. Windblade was also an expert hand-to-hand combatant. Arcee. Arcee has already made her appearance in the Michael Bay Transformers series. She was present as a decent Autobot, Field Commander. She first appeared in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen as an ally for Nest. In Shanghai, the team was on their way to deal with the Decepticon, Demolisher, when they encountered another Decepticon named Sideways. Soon, Arcee and her sisters were released after the Decepticons, and the sisters began pursuing Sideways. They were not able to do much against the sneaky speedster, and then came Sideswipe, who took down the Decepticons with ease. After Fallen's threat, the US government decided to shift the Autobots to Diego Garcia, which included Arcee and her sisters. Nest, however, disobeyed the government's orders and shipped them to Egypt, where Sam Witwicky was trying to resurrect Optimus Prime. She was later declared deceased in Transformers: Age of Extinction. The toy bio for Arcee elaborates more about Arcee's journey, stating that she was trained by Ironhide and also how she mastered her speed by racing against Turbo Foxes. In the Generation 1 continuity, Arcee fought in the Unicron War and also in the Battle of Autobot City, following which she continued working closely with Rodimus Prime. She was later binary bounded with Daniel Witwicky and became a headmaster. In an alternate timeline, Arcee was showcased as a member of the female Autobots fighting against the Decepticons on Cybertron. In the Marvel UK continuity, Arcee had a very contrasting origin. The Autobots created her in the year 1995 in response to a mob of angry feminists on Earth who believed the Cybertronians to be sexist for not having a female member. Arcee was equivalent to a speedster in the team of Autobots. Along with her remarkable agility, she had a gun with which she could take precise shots at her targets.
I will kill you!
You dare to strike your god?
Quintessa solely belonged to the Michael Bay films, loosely adapting from the quintessence of the Generation 1 continuity. She was the main antagonist of Transformers: The Last Knight, where she self-proclaimed herself as the creator of the Cybertronian race. This idea was linked with the Quintessans, who were a bizarre alien race and the creator of the Cybertronians. As stated in the live-action film thousands of years ago, the 12 Knights, also known as the Knights of Iacon, served as Quintessa's guard. At some point, they betrayed her and stole her Staff of Power. She remained hidden for the rest of the millennia until the destroyed Cybertron started moving towards Earth while being hidden by the sun. While on its way, Quintessa started repairing Cybertron with the help of the Infernicons. She planned to rebuild Cybertron on Earth, for which she needed Optimus Prime. She also rebuilt Megatron from Galvatron. Quintessa managed to capture Optimus with the help of her bounty hunter, lock down and hypnotize him to serve her as Nemesis Prime. Soon Cybertron was transported into Earth's atmosphere and parts of Cybertron started appearing in the sky. Nemesis Prime was reverted back to Optimus with the help of Bumblebee, and then began the war to save planet Earth. Quintessa was eventually defeated, but by the end of the movie we got to see her in the form of a humanoid holographic projection near an excavation site where a huge horn-shaped exposure, presumably unicorn's horn, can be seen. Quintessa has been shown to be far superior to the Cybertronians. She could fire bolts of electrical energy which are enough to immobilize her opponents. She possesses the power of telekinesis along with levitation. Quintessa claimed to be the sole creator of the Cybertronian race, and she could easily alter the psychology of the Cybertronians. Along with these, Quintessa could hypnotize, using which she had even made Optimus Prime her slave. Nautica. Like Windblade, Nautica was also born from a hotspot in one of the lost Titan colonies known as Caminus. On Caminus, every Transformer needed to have an Amica Endurer, or a best friend in 10 megacycles, or would be declared as lonely. Nautica was in a hurry to find one, and when she met Firestar, who was equally desperate to find an Amica, they became friends. Unfortunately, their personalities and likings were poles apart. Despite being hyper-literate, Nautica was overshadowed by Firestar in the field of art and often despised by society. She became a self-deprecating individual and never understood her potential. One day when Firestar lashed out harshly at Nautica, she was saved by Velocity, who was a fellow member of her sorority. Velocity was an aspiring doctor and provided new reading material to Nautica about quantum mechanics. The two soon became good friends, but Velocity had to leave for further studies in an off-world known as Medary. Later, Nautica assisted in Thunderclash's battle along with Windblade. Blackarachnia. When it comes to Blackarachnia, she was mostly seen during the Beast Wars as part of the Maximals. However, her origin is traced back to the time of the Autobots and was introduced in the animated shows following the IDW continuity. 1,000 stellar cycles ago, Blackarachnia was a young cadet with the name Elita-One and under the training of Cup Minor, a member of the Cybertron Elite Forces. At some point, Elita-One, along with her teammates, was traveling to the Arcee Sea in search of Energon from a Decepticon ship. During the quest, the team fell into a series of caves manifested by giant spiders. They struggled with spiders until the battle led to a massive Energon explosion. Elita-One was left behind, and when she tried using her ability to power from other beings, she got infected by one of the spider's venoms. The incident reshaped her psychology, which was undetectable to Optimus and the Autobots. They considered her dead. Following this, Elita-One developed a grudge against the Autobots and joined the Decepticons with her new name, Blackarachnia. She later rebranded herself as a Predacon and continued opposing the Maximals until she herself joined the Maximals. Blackarachnia surpassed every Cybertronian when it comes to being a spy or conducting critical missions in stealth. She was an expert hand-to-hand combatant and possessed a sound knowledge of gadgetry. She could hack systems and infiltrate opposing forces with ease. She was agile and an expert acrobat. Elita-One. Elita-One was also known as Elita-Monon or E1. She was a female counterpart of Optimus Prime and was extremely powerful and efficient Autobot. 5 million years ago, young Elita-One traveled with Optimus in search of energy. Optimus was then known as Orion Pax. Unfortunately, both of them were attacked and their ship was destroyed during takeoff. Both of them were brutally injured and were saved by the legendary Alpha Trion, who reconstructed their bodies and upgraded them. About 4 million years later, he led a team of 6 Autobots in her quest to steal Energon from Shockwave supplies. Their cover was blown and Elita-One was captured. The Decepticons tried using her as a bait in order to lure Optimus, which worked out successfully for the Decepticons. The two were captured and prepared for execution when Elita used every bit of energy left in her to trigger her time-stopping power, which eventually saved Optimus but nearly exhausted her life force. She was again taken to Alpha Trion by Optimus, who repaired her using Prime's power filter. The two united once again, but not for long, as Prime had to depart for Earth. Elita-One served the Autobots and always remained in contact with her creator Alpha Trion for assistance. Elita-One could transform both into a Cybertronian jet and a car. She possessed the ability to stop time in and around a field within a 40-foot radius. Her name had a similar meaning to that of Optimus, as both meant best first, and she was a fearless warrior like Prime.
Deceptitrons no longer in charge. We Tlalocans are taking our destiny back into our own hands.
Alana was the leader of the Tlalocans, who were constantly pressured by the Decepticon named Deceptitran for Energon. Alana encouraged the people to rebel against the Decepticon menace and protect against being enslaved. Alana had the ability to perceive beyond the surface and into the heart of the matter, using which she immediately spotted a horde of Autobots and understand that they were friends and not one of Deceptitran's droids. She had a special relationship with Seaspray, an Autobot with an affinity for water. At some point, Seaspray received an encrypted message stating that Prime needed aid. Soon, Perceptor, Bumblebee and Seaspray left for the planet, but eventually realized Deceptitran actually generated the message. The team, however, planned on investigating, which revealed human-like creatures being enslaved by Deceptitran. With the help of a pool named the Well of Transformation, which could transform the body of anyone, a revolt soon began on the planet. Seaspray dived into the pool, changing into a man, but after being unable to fight like one, he transformed back into his original form. Alana dived into the pool and transformed into a robot, capable of transforming into a boat. After the battle, Alana reverted back to her organic form.
Firestar, transform.
Firestar. Firestar was a female Autobot who was once a member of the Elita-One's Autobot resistance. She assisted Elita-One in her quest to steal Energon from Shockwave's reserves until they got caught owing to Moonracer's carelessness. As mentioned before, this act was followed by a Decepticon attack which led to Elita-One being captured. During the attack, Rumble destroyed the underground base of the female Autobots. The team, however, survived and made their way to the Earth-stationed Autobots in hope of freeing their leader, Elita. During this period, Firestar united with her friend Inferno and helped the Autobots fight the Decepticons on Earth. Following this, Optimus Prime arrived on Cybertron and rescued a damaged Elita-One and took her to the hidden base of Alpha Trion, where she was repaired using Prime's power filter. Later, Optimus left and Firestar remained in service for Elita-One's team. Firestar was a very useful member of the female Autobots and easily one of the most efficient. Her vehicle mode allowed her to transport large volumes of Energon during their heist at Shockwave's Energon reserves.
Firestar, I told you to roll out. I'll take care of this, but hurry before Shockwave...
Chromia was yet again a member of the female Autobot team led by Elita-One on Cybertron. She was also there during the team's heist for Energon from Shockwave's reserves. It is known to us that Moonracer's careless behavior led to alerting Shockwave, which eventually made the Decepticon chase the female Autobots. Shockwave got hold of Moonracer, and that is when we get to see Chromia's dare and effective use of her skills. She confronted Shockwave and managed to trick him into freeing Moonracer. Following this, the Decepticons attacked their team and captured Elita-One. After their leader was arrested, Chromia led the group to find their leader, and they came across a few Earth-stationed Autobots who were in search of their leader as well. Chromia united with Ironhide, who was then leading the Earth-stationed Autobot team. The two teams together fought against the Decepticons and freed Prime and Elita-One. Later, after the departure of Optimus Prime, his team Chromis stayed with Elita-One in the new base given by Alpha Trion. Chromia wasn't the one who could make friends easily. She was extremely devoted to her duty and was a fearlessly protective bot. She's an excellent bodyguard and fearless. She wasn't very good with socializing, but her kinship matched the likings for other security officers like Ironhide. Moonracer. Serving in the team of female Autobots on Cybertron, Moonracer was considered to be one of the best sharpshooters in the galaxy. Her character trait was sweet and bubbly, and often contributed to the most of the team's joy and laughter moments. The team of female Autobots led by Elita-One were engaged in stealing Energon from Shockwave's reserves, where due to Moonracer's carelessness, they were spotted by the vicious Decepticons. Moonracer disobeyed her leader's orders and got caught in a booby trap. Chromia, however, rescued her. She made up for her recklessness by shooting down the offender chasing them. After Elita-One was captured and rescued, Moonracer served the team throughout and later remained with Elita after the Autobots left for Earth. Moonracer was swift, and according to Powerglide, she was the best sharpshooter in the entire galaxy. Her sweet and amicable nature is not to be confused with the hardcore form she can take during battle. Airrazor. When the Maximals arrived on Earth in their status pods, Airrazor's pod was damaged. She could only come online once Rhinox repaired the status pod with utmost precision, and Cheetah offered his locking chip. The moment she came online, she overpowered the Pterosaur and destroyed it. Although the Maximal Tigatron preferred working alone, Airrazor frequently teamed up with him during their big adventure to the newly discovered Flying Island Paradise, which was later found to be ambushed by Predacons. Airrazor was brutally injured and rescued by Tigatron. Following this, Airrazor fought alongside the Maximals on numerous occasions. In the 2006 IDW Beast Wars continuity, Airrazor was shown to be one of the soldiers of the Autobot forces guarding Tigatron, the peace officer from the Autobots. She was known as Wing Saber in an alternate universe and served the Maximals. Due to her aerial mode, Airrazor mainly served the Maximals for surveillance and recon. She was a great asset to the Maximals owing to her fearless nature and efficient work. She was calm and composed with a tinge of dry humor. She possessed incredibly sharp eyesight.
Optimus Prime wants to send us to Earth? I am so
Strongarm. Strongarm first appeared in the Robots in Disguise animated series as a cadet in the Cybertron police force under Dropforge at the K-On Police Academy. She fought alongside Bumblebee during a mission to capture criminal Sideswipe. She opted the form of a local vehicle and joined the team to capture an escaped Decepticon Underbite, who was on his way to devour Crown City. She was not comfortable having Sideswipe and Grimlock in the team owing to their notorious reputation, and nevertheless managed with more than frequent squabbles with Sideswipe. She was later, however, rescued by Sideswipe by Steeljaw. After repeatedly requesting the Academy, she got her own solo project where she managed to capture the Decepticon Springload. Strongarm is devoted to enforcing the law and is willing to throw herself in any need, whether easy or difficult. She contains boundless energy and enthusiasm and likes working following protocols. She wasn't the only one who would improvise, but was incredibly daring when it came to capturing vicious Decepticon criminals.
At some point, you really have to ask yourself, Arcee, is it them or is it me?
Airachnid. Airachnid was a ruthless Decepticon who preferred working behind the front lines. She was born on Eucharis from Chella, the Talon of Onyx Prime, and used her skill set to evolve the future robots. She wasn't happy with these and sought to discover ways to advance her tribe's prophetic powers. She conducted fatal experiments on Transformers, which involved dissecting their brains to learn more about their Cybertronian minds. However, she was exiled from the Fate Weaver and banished from her planet for such acts. Airachnid was later employed by Starscream, who was then Cybertronian's High Chancellor, to discover more about Swindle's brain-damaged body. When Combaticons reunited as Bruticus, Starscream got hold of deceased Decepticons' bodies and handed them over to Airachnid in hopes of tampering with their memory and making them believe that Starscream was their sole leader throughout. Airachnid later combined Starscream's mind with Blastoff's and tampered with Onslaught's mind so that he would develop an affinity for Blastoff. As previously mentioned, during an attack of the deceased Titans, Vigilum had downloaded himself into Windblade's mind, which Starscream later entered with the help of Airachnid. The careless act did not help much, as Vigilum then entered Starscream's mind. Later, when Starscream confessed his series of crimes, Airachnid was taken into custody, where she glared fiercely at Windblade. Airachnid was cruel and immoral and could go up to any extent to fulfill her gains and desires. She was skilled in memnosurgery. She was wicked and sought to work behind notable corrupt forces.
What's she doing? She's making me dizzy.
Nightbird. The famous scientist Dr. Fujiyama created Nightbird, a gigantic female ninja robot to benefit humans. At some point, the Decepticons stole Nightbird and implanted an advanced brain chip, which turned her into one of their drones. Nightbird transformed into a kick-ass fighter robot, broke into the Ark, and stole the Autobots' world energy chip, which contains the locations of a variety of energy sources. Following Dr. Fujiyama's request, the Autobots refrained from damaging her and tried capturing her. This, however, backfired terribly. Eventually, they created an electro mesh that managed to drain out Nightbird's power reserves and allowed them to capture her. She was then kept in cold storage by the Doctor.
Strika to Shockwave.
Team Char has taken Space Bridge 687030. Requesting
Strika. The last one on the list is another ruthless female Decepticon, Strika, also known as the General of Destruction. While being the leader of the Team Char, she attempted to capture Space Bridge 687-030. She managed to disable Hotshot but was critically damaged by Rodimus Prime, after which she still managed to get back on her feet and criticized Blackout for disabling the bridge. Blackout reactivated the bridge and she ordered Cyclonus and Oilslick to assist her in freeing Spitor and securing the area. She managed to get onto the space bridge and waited for Shockwave to send her the coordinates of Cybertron. Unfortunately, she was ditched by Shockwave, who stated that according to Megatron's orders, she had to wait for his arrival on her planet. She continued guarding the space bridge along with preparing her team for a face-off with Cybertron's elite guard, something Strika looked forward to. However, even before the battle began, Megatron ordered the crew to retreat, which Strika denied until she was reminded of the consequences of not following orders. Strika fought alongside the Decepticons during the battle upon Detroit, following which Megatron was defeated and captured by the Autobots. Later, she orchestrated a rescue mission with the help of the Stunticons for Megatron and eventually got him out of Autobots' custody. Strika lived for war. She had a great flair for taking down powerful opponents and was also chosen to be one of Megatron's finest Decepticons assets. Strika is a perfect blend of brains and brawn. She could take up brutal fights and also organize strategic missions. She had a multi-wheeled, heavy armored battle tank mode capable of generating enormous firepower. She brought many victories to her side during the Great War on Cybertron.
The galaxy, Moonracer!
In the universe, Power Glide.
So finally, we come to the end of our list, and we hope you've enjoyed watching it. We are yet to witness some badass female bots in live-action movies, and we look forward to the upcoming films for that. And if you liked our content, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.
Goodbye, Optimus Prime! Don't stay away too long!